Alright, what is up everybody? It's Joe from JLB Games coming at you with another cool video. And I wanted to do a quick real-time section before we get into the time-lapse to kind of showcase my new train design for Time Traveler. And as you can see, I completely redid the cars once again. I've done it multiple times at this point, and this time I spent quite a few hours. But I think we're finally at the point where I definitely got it right this time. So if we go back into here, you can kind of see that basically we're just kind of covering up. And I think my problem beforehand was I kept trying to form everything to the front piece here that Frontier has given us, but instead I've kind of decided to go with just putting this piece on the front instead, and I think the results were a lot better. Now I do have to give a shout out a little bit to Digital Dan, who is doing a Ride to Happiness recreation, and his ideas kind of sparked how this kind of developed into what it is now. So he was designing his cars as well for Ride to Happiness, which are pretty much the same as Time Traveler. There's very minor differences between the two trains. So I basically kind of used his video as a guide to try and get mine the way I wanted. So shout out to Digital Dan. If you haven't seen Digital Dan, go subscribe to him. He makes some really good recreations in Planet Coaster. So he made a really good Alton Towers 13 recreation. Again, he's working on Ride to Happiness right now, which looks absolutely amazing, by the way. So be sure to check his channel out because he does amazing stuff on there as well. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to him and just kind of a real-time section of how these trains look in game. And I did it all off screen because it took I probably spent a good hour to 2 hours getting these trains right after a lot of trial and error. So I didn't unfortunately record them because it would have been just a lot of footage of me just deleting stuff and such like that, and taking forever to get to the final result, basically. So I just wanted to give a quick little segment in here showcasing of how they turned out. But today we're going to be focusing a lot on custom supporting, so we're going to get into that time lapse, and so I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Here we go. Alrighty, so here in the time lapse we get quite a bit done today with a lot of the support structure and everything like that. I don't get fully done. My whole goal was to try and get everything done, but there was a few complex and a few hurdles I had to get through on some of these supports, mainly the vertical loop. I knew it was going to cause issues. It caused issues in Planet Coaster 1's recreation, and one part of the loop supports wasn't that bad, but it was the other part that gave me some issues, and there's a slight inaccuracy on it, but that's okay. I don't think anyone will even notice, and I think it'll be fine. So it's probably going to be the most inaccurate part because the way the shape of the loop works is kind of what kind of caused it to be kind of off a little bit, but that's okay. Not every recreation can be one-to-one perfect and every single way. Obviously I'm going to have some shaping of my track that's not exactly the same. It's going to be slightly off in some spots. I mean, that's just how recreations are, and that's the fun of them sometimes, is that you're not going to get it everything specifically perfect. I'm sure I have supports in here that are incorrect, and maybe I have an extra support in there, or maybe I have too few supports in there, but I did my best to try and point out each support structure in each one. I also kind of adjusted the terrain a little bit throughout the ride, because I am going to realize that I'm going to have to adjust some of these footers and supports when I do, if someone does plop this in here, because it uses the terrain so uniquely that is something that we have to keep an eye out for. So I also decided to do custom catwalks on the launches, because I wanted them to look a lot better and a lot different from the in-game supports. They also are kind of like a dual tone. It has two different colors on it, so I just wanted to get something cool like that. And they're very similar to the catwalk that we have on top of where the drop piece is. So keeping that in mind, I did go ahead and get that kind of copied down to there, and it did take a minute, but we did get that used for the catwalk on launch number 1. But yeah, you'll see in the time lapse that we'll start on that catwalk shortly, and I'm very excited for how that turned out, because it turned out pretty good, and it makes me want to do more custom catwalks overall, because the in-game catwalks, they're not the worst thing in the world, but I feel like they're just kind of repetitive, and they're the same on all the coasters, and they just kind of look the same for every single ride. So doing a custom catwalk allows you to kind of make it look a little bit more different than what you're used to seeing in playing a coaster. So it's nice and refreshing to see that. Yes, it's going to drive up the piece count, but that's okay. I looked at the piece count with the supports as it stands right now. I think we were only at like 600 pieces, so we're doing pretty good as for the coaster with the support structures, and I think that was also including the catwalk, if I remember right. I could be wrong on that, but so we're not doing too bad. That is going to allow us, I would say it's going to be under 1,000 pieces for the supports, or close to, because I feel like we got the majority of the supports done now, but we still have to do the last bit of the layout still. And it also counts the piece count on the trains as well. So if you have your trains, I think you could mess with it a little bit. So say if I'm just slightly over, if I program it to only have 1 train maybe, I wonder if that will do it, and then you can add the second and third train yourself. I'm not entirely sure, but one bug that I think I've mentioned before, is that the dispatch interval keeps resetting every time. So I want it set to 50, but it keeps setting back to 2, and that is throwing off how the trains run, and one of the trains will stop on the first launch for ages, which is something that we don't want. This could be fixed as well if they would just allow rolling launches to also be block sectioned like they are in real life. So if you have a normal LSM, I think that should also be able to be block sectioned as well. That way the next train won't go out until, I could set it up to where the next train won't go out until it hits the second launch, which is kind of how it is in real life. The second train, or the train out of the station, could start moving about the time, I think it's around the vertical loop or so. And you can actually get a time where the trains cross over each other. One's going down the drop while the other one's hitting the second launch. It's actually a really cool moment. I've seen it happen a few times, but you have to be super fast to get that train out for that to work. So, but anyways, going into the video here, we are getting our custom catwalk started. I did copy and paste the one at the top of the drop because it is the same. So I figured I could use it here as well and just kind of adjust it accordingly. I would have to go in and add some like connector pieces that connect to the track and everything. So that is something we had to do. And then of course it is slightly angled at this part of the launch. So I also had to accommodate for that, which was also kind of a challenge. I'd say getting the connector pieces were kind of the biggest challenge, honestly, because it wasn't perfect and I had to get it all the way through, but we managed to get through it just fine. But thinking about it, we have to do this for the second launch as well, but hopefully that one will go potentially a little bit more smooth. That's my goal. But I think this turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with these catwalks, and yeah, so maybe it's something I could consider putting on the workshop as well, if you guys want me to. But I also need to do like a spiral staircase at the beginning of the launch too, which I haven't figured out how I'm going to do that just yet, because it's going to be very difficult with all the pieces that we have at our disposal. But like to do like the spiral staircase is going to be very challenging, to say the least. So I'm gonna try my best and see if I can come up with something, but it is going to be something where I'm gonna probably have to use the scaling mod potentially to get that rounded shape for the spiral staircase. So, but we'll wait and see. So my solution for these connector pieces is to just put like these triangular arch shapes in, because I didn't want the connector at the bottom, so I couldn't use the connector really. So we went ahead and did that, and we used some like beams and stuff to kind of get this connection done. And I did this all the way down. It did take some time, but it was worth it as it does look pretty good. And I'm pretty happy with the results. So I do want to put like the lighting on here at some point too, because there are some nice little lights on lights on this. So yeah, they look pretty good. Also, again, I'm gonna apologize again because I haven't apologized yet, but for my my awful voice, coughing, and stuffy, voice sound, mostly because I'm still getting over getting sick. If you've watched the last episode or two, like, you'll know that I've been trying to get over this sickness, and what I've been doing while I'm sick, because I've been calling in to work, is working on this. So also, there's another Midwest Adventure video coming out soon as well, so keep a lookout for that. I got that on the way because we did finish the Dark Ride log flume for that, so be on the lookout for that video coming out pretty soon as well. So I got a lot done in the last couple of days. I got a lot I was working on. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited where I'm going right now. I got these projects. After we're done with this project and Midwest Adventure, I think I am going to finally start on my big park project that I announced before Planet Coaster 2 even came out. I think we are going to finally start on that project. I think I'm starting to feel confident enough in my building skills to finally get that kind of started. So very exciting. I know it is. This is a very long episode, by the way, because I did took a lot of time on that the launch pad on this catwalk and such, and we still have to make the supports too, which is takes some time. So, but I think the supports turned out a lot better than my version in Planet Coaster 1 so far. It had its challenges. So far, this recreation has gone smoother than I expected. So I really am pretty happy with that. So being able to put this together so smoothly as compared to Planet Coaster 1, where it was a big trial. I made so many changes so many times, and this one I'm actually pretty satisfied with. There's a couple spots. The shaping of the dive loop is kind of weird. Which I guess I could have went in and reworked a little bit, but to get it in the spot I needed to, because it had to thread through like 2 different tracks and everything, it makes it really hard to get that perfect, because you have to get it in a certain spot where it's above the launch track. It's got to go through the loop. It's got to go under the loop. It's got to go here. It's got to go there. And it's hard to get the exact shaping you want when you have to thread it through so many things all at the same time. So yeah, so I had to thread this support in here because there actually is a support right here, and I had to make sure that it cleared clearances, and it's pretty close. Is it perfect? Probably not, but it's gonna be a nice arm chopper or whatever you want to call it. So man, talking for long periods of time is probably not good for me right now, and I am feeling that at the moment. So it also doesn't help that this is the longest episode so far of this series, so that's a thing. But anyways, going into this big wave turn was pretty exciting, because I always liked this this element. It's also pretty fun to custom support as well. I low-key actually enjoy custom supporting, so like it's actually one of the few things I enjoy doing. Like, some people might find it tedious and boring and stuff, but I actually find it pretty fun and chilled, you know? Put on some music, and and just kind of chill. Like, it's actually pretty fun to watch the project come together and get the support. The supports just kind of are the icing on the cake of the visual of the ride, and it looks really nice. So getting this right was also kind of crucial for this as well. So anyways, um, going up into this, and then we get into the vertical loop, which was a nightmare to try and custom support. To be honest, if I'm going to be honest, it was a little bit of a pain in the butt to get that going. So, but you know what? It all ended up working out in some way, shape, or form. So I'm pretty happy with how the results turned out. So I'm I'm still, it's gonna be something that's not super noticeable that it's inaccurate, but I don't even know if I want to point it out. You probably won't even notice. Maybe if you watch the video, you'll notice that it doesn't line up properly, but you'll see um, once we get into that. But yeah, it's turned out pretty good. I'm so happy for that. But I think I mentioned it in the last episode, but like, in case I didn't, my plan here is, a lot of people keep asking me if I'm going to be doing another recreation in Planet Coaster 2 for Silver Dollar City, and the answer is I really want to. But in the meantime, since I kind of want to wait till we have more things in the game before I even start a project like that, and that is more so like maybe like a scenario editor where we can have bigger parks and such like that. I think that'd be a good idea to wait on, and wait until I can, especially for the interchangeable coaster trains. That's definitely something I want to wait on, and mostly because rides like Powder Keg are going to be difficult, and I feel like I'm going to need the interchangeable coaster trains for that to really work. I probably will have to do something similar like I did in Planet Coaster 1 to get that to work. But anyways, I'm getting off topic, but basically my idea is, what if I build some of the rides, buildings, and stuff beforehand? So like, say I'm building Time Traveler right now, maybe next we could work on Outlaw Run. Well, actually, no, I can't do that until I get the interchangeable. Actually, we can. We just have to wait to get the proper trains on there. So I might wait until we have interchangeable coaster trains to do Outlaw Run as well. I could do Wildfire. That's a sneaky one I could do and throw in there as well. So we might do Wildfire next, maybe even Thunderation or something. I'm not sure. But basically, we can build these blueprints as blueprints, and then once we get to the recreation, I can plop them in there, and they're ready to go. And then you just have to build around them. So that's kind of my idea, like doing a lot of the work, right now. And again, with some of the buildings, I could build some of the buildings as well. Say like Hannah's Ice Cream Parlor, I could build a hospitality house or something like that. I can build some of these buildings and save them as blueprints. That way, when I get into finally the spot where I want to, like, we've technically been working on the recreation in a way, and then we can just plop those blueprints in. And then you guys can also have those blueprints on the workshop as well. So it's kind of a big win-win-win situation where I'm technically working on the recreation right now with building Time Traveler, because, like, again, I'm not gonna rebuild it again. I'm gonna just use this as a blueprint and put it in there. So I think that's gonna be a cool idea. And then I think, again, I want to build some of the buildings off screen as well. Probably do those off screen. I might, unless you guys want to see a video of that, of me building some of the iconic buildings in Silver Dollar City. That could be something we could do. So like a lot of the Midtown buildings and such like that. Maybe even do a recreation of Fireman's Landing. That could be another thing that we could work on, is actually do Fireman's Landing. And it's actually very interesting now that we have these animated pieces that we can use. We can actually create fake and custom flat rides as well. So say like there's a few flat rides that don't exist in Planet Coaster 2, we can actually create it. Like, say if I want to create Lucky's Dizzy Dogs or Fireman's Flyers, I can still kind of create those rides utilizing those pieces. I don't have any experience making custom rides, but that'd be cool. So rides like Electrospin and Grand Expo would also be a cool one, because I feel like that would be possible potentially to maybe even animate slightly. That one's going to be a little difficult because it goes on that U shape, so I'm not sure if I could animate that or not. That's actually something that could be done if you did it right, potentially, but we'll have to wait. We'd have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, I'm very interested to see where this goes, and I would love to do the Silver Dollar City recreation once again. Is it in my plans? I think it is. It's just I'm waiting for the game to be a little more developed and wait until we have more content in the game. And where I'm ready. So I'm gonna kind of, like I said, I want to build the things that I'm able to build now, and then that way, once we get to that point, we can just plop them in to the park and be good to go. So that's something that I'm so excited for, because I think we can make it happen. But going into these loops, vertical loop supports, man, the first one was very good. I didn't have to worry about anything. Everything lined up the way I wanted it to, and it was very perfect. It was when we got to the other side is where I ran into issues with the loop supports. So I didn't shape this thing properly, and you can't see it from the naked eye, but like once you start to kind of see it when you try and do these custom supports and copy them over to the other side, and nothing lines up. Because I mean, it's probably leaning the wrong way for these anyways, but you can also see the support structure going straight through the track underneath. So I had to make some big changes on the other direction, on the other side, to make it work. So basically I had to build this side from scratch, because I wanted to try and do a copy and paste, but that was just not going to work, unfortunately. So I had to go in and make it custom, because it was kind of a pain in the butt. But you know what, it's okay, and it's fine, everything's fine. And I think, yeah, I do it here, and this is about the end of the video, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. But I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this series as much as I have. I can't wait to get the supports done in the next episode, so make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more amazing content like this, guys. And we'll see you guys very, very soon for that. So anyways, I thought I was closer to the end of the video than I was, but now I gotta fill this empty time with something. So so you might if you guys want to see episodes early and everything, be sure to hit that join button down below. If you want to become a channel member, support the channel further, it's $5 a month. If you do want to support the channel further, you'll get perks like also the perks of watching my episodes early, so you get to see these episodes before anyone else, which is a pretty awesome perk if you ask me. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe again, and we'll see you guys next time, guys. Hopefully I'll feel better in the next video. So anyways, thanks and goodbye.